Hey, percussion party people! So I know a lot of you have heard that District Honor Band has happened recently and might want to participate in it in the future. But one question, how do you apply for District Honor Band? How do you make yourself more successful in the audition for it? And what do you do when you're there? So here are 5 easy steps for your guide for District Honor Band. First thing to know is that your first all-state band audition is also your district honor band audition. So in order to do this, the first step is to look up your all-state band audition information. In order to do this, just type in all-state band and your state, because again, it's different by state, as you can probably guess from the title, and look up this information. As you can see here, the title for my state is GMEA because I'm in Georgia. So you go there and you scroll down to audition information. After that loads, you again scroll down and go to look at each of these. So, by the way, it is important to note that percussion has their own requirements and music for auditioning. However, sometimes our etude can be under the category we're in. Concert band, by the way, means 9th and 10th graders, and symphonic band means 11th and 12th graders. I think you can probably guess what middle school means. Anyway, so you can go under any of these, look at the requirements for any instrument, not just your own. Sometimes I use that for sight reading. Anyway, you can look at the requirements for that by clicking here. One thing I also usually note is that you should probably look at your scale range because different instruments and different auditions for different things sometimes require differing scale ranges. So you probably need to check that. Anyway, once you have your music, you should probably start practicing it. Okay, so you have your audition music. You've researched everything and all of your requirements. How do you actually practice for this? So, first of all, you're going to want to spend somewhere between 15 minutes to over an hour a day, depending on, how far along you are in your practice journey and what time commitment you want to dedicate to this. And you want to spend your time practicing. So, first of all, don't only practice what you feel strong on, practice your weak spots. And I'd actually recommend to practice them the most. For example, if you feel really comfortable with snare but not with marimba, you probably need to practice marimba a little bit more than snare. That's just me. Also, some etudes might be harder to you than others, and again, you should practice those more. 2, you probably need to be practicing with a metronome. As much as I like to skip out on it too sometimes, practicing with a metronome can actually be really helpful to make sure you have a consistent tempo when you go into your audition. And number 3, you need to make sure you not only practice, but listen to other people practicing and listen to others to gain advice. So maybe go online and find a video of a professional practicing. You can also go to your band director or an instructor or even an older student for help, and they can offer a unique perspective with how to make your practicing more efficient and your music better. Oh, also, a little thing I forgot to mention in the earlier segment of this is sight reading. That is one field you really want to especially practice. So, sight reading is basically exactly what it sounds like. You're basically given about 2 minutes to kind of just look over a part you've never seen before, and then you play it. You want to make sure you practice this a ton at home before you go because you're going to be doing that on all 3 instruments: timpani, snare, and marimba. So make sure you practice that at home. Practice it with a metronome. Some great ways to do sight reading is there are online websites you can use to generate sight reading pieces, or you can also look at the parts of other instruments trying out for Allstate and sight read those as well. Again, you can also use whatever materials you have to use. I remember when I was a beginning learner, one of my favorite ways to sight read was that we had a old hymnal, which is basically a book of songs you use in church, laying around the house. And I literally used to sight read those pieces on my bell kit just nonstop. I must have driven my parents crazy. Um, but those are actually great songs to sight read. If you happen to have an old hymnal, you can go out and buy books. You can use online materials. You can use the audition materials for other all-state instruments. Whatever you want to do, just make sure you're prepared to sight read. The biggest thing in sight reading, by the way, is not stopping. Even if you think you have really messed it up, just don't stop. That's actually one of the best ways to get a higher score on sight reading. Okay, so you've practiced a ton. You've gone to others for advice and maybe looked online for some help. You feel comfortable with almost everything. You feel prepared. What do you do the day of your audition? First of all, the day of your audition, you're going to want to bring your materials. If you're not a percussionist, this might be just your instrument and some sheet music. Definitely bring your sheet music, by the way. However, if you're a percussionist, here's exactly what you need to bring. You need to bring a pair of drumsticks. I use SD1s. However, you can use a lot of different drumsticks. Make sure you bring concert sticks, though, and not marching sticks. You're going to want to bring wool mallets. As well as, I always bring rubber mallets just in case, because sometimes they'll have you trying out on marimba, which is better than with wool mallets. And they'll sometimes be using xylophone, which is better with rubber mallets. I also like to bring a practice pad to my audition, just so that I can practice out in the hallway beforehand. So audition day, you want to show up early. This ensures that you get practice time in to look over your parts just one last time. Sometimes also the judges might take you early, which can be, really nice too. Anyway, you go early, you eat a good breakfast and get a good night's sleep beforehand. That way, you're at mental alertness when you go. You calm yourself down. Remember, you're prepared for this. You're a great musician and a great person, no matter how the audition goes. And even if you don't make it, this was great preparation and great practice. As my band director always says, no one ever gets worse by preparing for an audition. Anyway, you go, you calm yourself down, you bring everything you need, you do everything you can to make sure you're successful. Oh, also, little tangent. By the way, they're going to hand you probably a sheet for the judges to write on, to judge you and score you. And you need to keep up with that. Don't let it get crinkled. Don't let it get wet. Anyway, again, keep that nice. But just bring everything, calm yourself down, come mentally alert and ready to perform your absolute best. Oh, another little note is that you can usually borrow some materials from your band room if you don't have them. Like, you might notice that I didn't mention timpani mallets before, and it's actually because I usually end up borrowing those from my band room. Of course, check your band room's policy beforehand, and if this isn't the policy, you might end up, borrowing that from a friend, hopefully before the day of, or you might end up just going out and buying some. Again, whatever works. Okay, first of all, whether or not you made it, I'm proud of you either way. Like, you grew, you learned a lot, whatever happened, happened. Second of all, this is actually something not a whole lot of people know. Just because you did not make second round All State does not always mean you did not make District Honor Band. Those are two completely different metrics. Okay, so just because you didn't make All State doesn't mean you didn't make District Honor Band. However, this point forward in the video, we're going to be assuming you made it. So how do you prepare for District Honor Band? Well, first of all, you're going to want to bring a lot of the same materials you brought to All State. You're also going to want to keep practicing your instruments. Don't stop practicing just because All State is over. This is especially helpful because usually District Honor Band season is the same as LGPE season. And if you stop practicing in LGPE season, that is really bad. So, keep practicing your instrument. Most of the District Honor Band music you won't see until the day of, so you can't really practice that ahead of time. But again, just keep practicing, bring a lot of the same materials. Also, sometimes they have you sign a slip to go. Just sign, hey, I actually want to come to this. And B, sometimes there's a slate fee to attend. I believe mine was about $20. So just make sure you sign it and pay that in time. Turn the necessary forms into your band director in time. However, the majority of the stressful part is over, and the fun part, although practicing for All State is fun, a lot of the fun part, is about to start. Okay, you've made it this far. You have all the necessary materials. You're good to go. What do you do when you get there? First of all, you're going to want to bring your best rehearsal etiquette skills. Try your hardest at anything you're given. Listen to your conductor. All of the things we're always told. Don't talk when the conductor's talking, all of that. Anyway, so once you get there, you're probably going to check in with the rest of your band and just head into the room. Set up your stuff, look over your music for the first time. Make sure you bring a pencil, by the way, because it's great to be able to mark your music, especially in advance. And then you're basically going to rehearse for 2 days, really a day and a half. And at the end of the second day, have a concert, which is, always super fun. Just try your best at everything you're given. Really learn from the new conductor, because sometimes the new conductor says stuff to you you've never heard before and really gives a new perspective. And sometimes they say the stuff your band director has been telling you for years, and this is the first time you've ever really listened for some reason, and you fix that District Honor Band, either way. But in all seriousness, they offer a unique perspective. This is a unique opportunity to play with other learners that are as dedicated as you are. This is an opportunity to play new music, because a lot of the time the music at District Honor Band is like brand new. This is your opportunity to mingle with the friends that maybe are not in your school. This is supposed to just be a really fun time to play new music. So have fun, do your best. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. You're gonna do great.